Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
It's Joe KARP time. Oh, my goodness. So, Joe KARP, we've been doing this a long time. I remember when you first came here and we started doing these shows, people didn't even know what elder law was. And now it's just ho-hum, right?
Yeah, when I first started practicing elder law, my favorite story about who didn't know is the Yellow Pages guy. You remember the Yellow Pages?
Oh, yeah, right.
The Yellow Pages guy came to my office and wanted to talk about my listings and where I wanted to put it under attorneys. And I said I want it under elder law. And they didn't have it. Not only didn't they have it, they didn't believe it existed, so he didn't even go back, or he did go back, to the office and say, I have a guy who wants to put in a big thing under elder law in the Yellow Pages. And they effectively told him, no such thing, okay? So they didn't get the advertising. And I said to him, there will come a time, and I was part right and part wrong, when the Yellow Pages will have lots of listings under elder law, and I said, most of the people who will be doing it will be throwing it down because they think if you're representing the elderly, that's enough. And they won't be doing all of the things that are quantified in elder law. Where I was wrong is elder law has outlived the Yellow Pages by far.
Well, I know you bring up something. When I first got my master's degree in gerontology, people would say, what is that? And I remember that I tried to get on shows and all, and just luckily enough, when I wrote the book Live to be 100 Plus, as a gerontologist, people didn't know, and I started getting booked on national TV. I was on CBS, NBC, ABC. You probably don't know this, up in New York. They flew me up there because this was a new field, the same kind of thing that you're talking about.
Sure. Nobody knew, nobody understood. And when I said, well, I'm going to help people get Medicaid, and people would turn to me and say, well, if people are getting Medicaid, how are they going to pay you? They're already broke.
Right.
I said, I said, there is a gap in our health plans in this country. And I said, I went through it with my mother. They'll cover you in the hospital and they'll cover you for a period of time in rehab. But when that time is over, there's no governmental programs. And my mother was a hemiplegic. She had a stroke that paralyzed her left side of her body. I said, there's no governmental health programs to assist you when your health prevents you from doing your normal activities of daily living. And it's a health-related problem. That's the residual effect. That's the damage. And I said, middle-class people will go broke doing that, and they need to know how they can legally protect assets so that their spouse is protected and that there's money to do things to enhance their quality of care. And back then, so we want a picture of it, the average cost of a nursing home in Palm Beach County was $3,300 a month.
Oh, my.
Okay, it was $3,300 a month. And probably the average Social Security check was $1,200 a month. I mean, some of these numbers have changed, but now the average cost in this county is over $10,000 for a semi-private room. So the world has changed, and people need to be aware of this more and more and take steps to protect their assets more and more so that it can be there to enhance the quality of care, because people need to do that. But yes, way back when I was doing this, I was speaking a foreign language.
So, Joe, when you have your wonderful seminars, do you cover everything? I mean, you can't possibly cover everything in that short time, but what's the major thing that you cover? And I know they're coming up. Let me just see. October, Tuesday. Oh, we got to make sure people go to them. But go ahead, just tell us that, and then I'll read off.
I break it down into three aspects. I talk about traditional estate planning and the pros and cons of using wills versus trusts and what the advantages are, and try to dispel the myths that trusts are only for the very wealthy and things like that. And I talk about all of their legal documents that they need, and not only what they need in terms of paper, but that how we recommend they do things with those assets and what steps they have to take and why they should review their old documents, because these things get stale because both the laws change, and many people who went to a lawyer to do an estate plan were only thinking about death planning, and we're not thinking about life planning, and they just assume if somebody has a power of attorney or there's a trust, it works and it will do everything they want it to do, and that's not true. What everything says is what it does. I mean, these legal instruments have meaning, and what people have done as a result is meaningful. So we talk about that. Then we talk about the laws for Medicaid in the state of Florida, what they are, what the penalty periods mean, what you can and can't do in order to protect assets for Medicaid with full disclosure to the government, what you can do if you're planning ahead and why it's advantageous to plan ahead, and what you can do if you're not planning ahead and you're in the crisis mode. And unfortunately, people are in crisis modes frequently because they just didn't address it. They didn't deal with it. We get that both in Medicaid and traditional estate planning. We'll get a call. Hello, my mother's in hospice. They say she has 2 days to live. Can you come and do a will? And we say, well, is she medicated up on morphine? And it's going to make no sense. We can't. And also there's time constraints. We have other obligations. You've got to plan. You can't just, for everybody who runs to Home Depot the night the hurricane is on its way and discover that there are no batteries, no flashlights, and no wood, don't be surprised. If you didn't plan,
right,
you didn't recognize the potential, and by the way, death is not even a potential, it's a reality. It's only when, not if. The hurricane's still an if. So we talk about that, and then we talk about VA benefits for veterans who served during wartime for non-service connected disability, and how people can plan for that as well if they want, because they've changed the laws, and it used to be a very, if you will, a very simple process that for some people we could do VA planning overnight. But now the VA has imposed penalty lookbacks as well, so it's important to recognize that even with the VA you can do planning, and you can do planning. Now, some people always, after they hear what they can do, they procrastinate, and that's frequently to their detriment. I mean, I think of all the people I know, and I'm sure you know people who need it, just on simple thing like getting long-term insurance.
Yes.
They hem and they haw and they hem and they haw, and then when they find out that they're denied, they go freako crazy. It's like, how am I going to live without this insurance? What's going to happen to all my money? And the answer is, well, deal with possibilities and probabilities in advance. So we talk all about that. What we do in the workshop is, after we explain this, and it's a 2-segment meeting, and it's a one-time, it's that day, we then offer people an opportunity for free consultation with one of our lawyers if we think we can help them. And we'll offer them that consultation in either Boynton Beach, Palm Beach Gardens, or St. Lucie offices. And we'll offer them that consultation, say, look, you got to come in prepared, do some homework. We need to know some stuff, because you can't walk in and say, well, what should I do for an estate plan? Well, we got to know who your family is, who your cast of characters are, what you're trying to accomplish. Do you like your daughter-in-law? Is she a disaster? Is your son a spendthrift? Is your grandchild suffering from any disabilities? We need to know about the people, because estate planning is all about people. And we, as you know, Anita, are a people people-friendly law firm. Our lawyers, the 5 of us, want to know our clients. We want to know that we know them, so when it hits the fan, everybody knows to come to us, that we can give them advice. We know what's going on, and we try to understand what's going on. We're not the cookie-cutter firm. And people need to look at their plans. If you did it, we tell our clients every 3 years or whenever there's a substantial change in circumstances, come in. And we'll get people who come in and they'll say, well, my husband goes to adult daycare for his Alzheimer's every day and has been for 2 years. And we say, do you realize he's still listed as the person who can make your medical decisions? And they say, yeah, but my daughter's a backup. I say, okay, your daughter in New Jersey is going to have to run around and get doctor's notes to show the hospital when you're in there that your husband is no longer competent. Update your documents. Deal with reality. So we try to get our clients to be reality-based and know that we're a resource to help them and guide them, not only to do papers, but to really create a plan, figure out what they want to do, and then know that we're going to be there when it hits the fan. We're not just paper pushers. We are your lawyers for your estate plan. Until death do us part, we need to be there. And that's why I have younger lawyers in the firm, so it's an ongoing thing.
Well,
as you know, we've been doing these for 25 years.
And now I'm going to tell people about, just get your pencils out, everybody. This is so important. So here it is, October, and we have some wonderful seminars that Joe's doing. Let's just start. So Tuesday, it's just coming up. Tuesday, October the 15th from 1:30 to 4. And that's going to be at the Palm Beach Gardens Marriott. Wednesday, October the 16th, 1:30 to 4. The Courtyard by Marriott in Boynton Beach. And Wednesday, October 23rd, that's a week from then, 1:30 to 4 at Port St. Lucie Holiday Inn. It's a good thing to go up there. They're doing a lot of stuff up in Port St. Lucie. You'll love the trip up there. It's not that far, and just enjoy yourself. Now, no reservations are required. And if you want more information, though, just go to their website or just go to their phone number. It's 1-800-893-9911, 1-800-893-9911, or go to their website, which is karplaw.com, KARPLAW.com. These are called Senior Survival Workshops, and even if you've gone before, go again. They're always different, and Joe is really a special person to do this. Imagine a busy lawyer like he is, and I don't know if he's still doing all of them, but he goes, and every day, here he's, every seminar, he's there with a smile on his face, excited to see people. It never gets old. It's like I love the radio shows, and he loves his seminars, right?
Absolutely. And what people don't understand is, you said the people who've been there before come back again. The cookies are good, but it's worth coming back. I mean, this weekend, by example, my son Jonathan and Adele Harris, who are 2 of the attorneys in our firm, are up in Orlando at a 2-day seminar that started yesterday with 4 of our paralegals to get updates on estate planning and estate administration. Now, the reality is 98% of what they hear will not be updates. 98% of what they'll hear was the same as last year, but it gets reinforced. They hear it, they do it, they understand it. And then they'll hear another 2% that is either new, not because there's new in the law, there's new in life and how to think about it and what to do and look at. So they go there, and that's not an inexpensive deal. We have 6 people up there, hotel rooms, transportation, food, the cost of the seminar, all of that, because they can learn. Okay, and obviously is the business, we're paying their salaries while they're there. So when you come to these things and you learn, would you say, well, I heard it last year? If you know everything from last year's seminar, why don't you show up and say, Joe, I'm going to come and do your seminar. I know everything you've got. The answer is everything didn't register because it's just firing out at you, and you get to hear it again, and you get to absorb it, or you miss something, or things have changed, or I said something this time that was the law last time or was practical last time, but I didn't throw it in because I can't throw everything in. I just came back. I flew up to Chicago Thursday night and flew back Friday night for a one-day seminar with a meeting where there's idea sharing amongst lawyers that I've been working with for over 20 years. And every time I walk out of there, I was dreading going up there. Oh, geez, flying up for Thursday night, flying back Friday night, getting up early in Chicago. I walked out of there with so much information, so much more knowledge, and so much more charge to do things. And sometimes going to that workshop gives you the impetus to go. The number of people who come into my office sometimes that they say, well, I'm finally here. And you'll take a look and you'll see they went to my workshop in 2007. And we keep good notes. So they were there in 2007, and they squeaked in again in 2011 to hear what I have to say, and then they're finally ready to do it. Sometimes when they're finally ready, it hit the fan already.
Right.
But sometimes it's they finally just came to deal with the realities. So those workshops are beneficial. You'll hear stuff. We don't charge for it. One of the lawyers who was in my group said when she's through with her workshops now, know what she says to people?
What?
She says, I used to do free consultations. She said, now we're charging $500 for every consultation. You need me more than I need you, she says. And she does. She said, I'm fine. You're the one who needs me. You're going to pay $500 for the consultation. Now, we haven't gone there yet, but we're dealing with how many more we're going to continue to do, whether we're going to still do them, but are we going to do them with the same regularity? Maybe not. But we will. For now, we're doing it. We're booked for October and November. So don't assume something will always be there for you. If you're interested and you want to get off square one, you want to learn something, come on down.
Well,
and the cookies are good.
You're good. So, Joe, you have been doing this as I started off the show for so many years, and you never get bored, though. It seems like every time you do the radio show, you've got new things to say, and it's your enthusiasm, and as I feel the same way, when you love what you do, and you could have been any other kind of attorney, and you were a
criminal trial lawyer.
Exactly, but you went into this, and I thought that maybe your mother's situation pushed you a little bit into this because you could see what happened.
That, and also just my whole philosophy of life that government should serve a purpose to help people. I wish I didn't have to do Medicaid planning. I wish that everybody were covered for all of their ailments. And the other thing is just estate planning. I recognize the realities of it. I've been in litigation. I know, not personally, but as a lawyer, and I want to help people avoid the garbage in life. It's really important. And I got to tell you, I thought about my continuing pleasure in doing the seminars. I was talking to a guy next to me on the plane, and I'm a rock and roll fan, okay? Realized that several weeks ago, the Rolling Stones, with Mick Jagger over the age of 70, who's got more money than some countries, is doing a retirement tour and out there busting his butt singing to, he had just had heart valve surgery several weeks before. He's out there doing it. He does it because he loves it. He loves what he's doing. He knows the pleasure it brings his fans and his audience. And unfortunately, I was supposed to go, but it was scheduled for the Saturday night of Dorian, and then they switched it to Friday, and I was candidly unwilling to take the trip down to Miami and back on Friday night when I might have had to still deal with a hurricane. But there are people who do it because they love it. Tom Brady plays for the Patriots, for your football fans. He's 42 years old.
Isn't it amazing?
He's not doing it for the money. He's already made his mark.
Right.
He's out there doing it because he wants to have fun enjoys it and knows what it does for his fans.
Yep, that's what it is. And in all your, I know you started off with a lot of people, probably they were in their 60s. They are now, well, probably in their 80s, and they're still there kicking and screaming, and you still know them.
They're still wearing their tennis shoes and their shorts when they come into my office, and when they came in, when they were in their 70s, they thought they would be dead before 2019. Right. And now we have the next generation coming in. We were talking about the age of our clientele. I have a lot of people coming in now who are in their mid to late 60s because they know we give the kind of advice that covers also what they should be doing with their money so that they don't find themselves in this problem of being broke, that they don't find themselves in this dilemma of what do I want to do so I can obtain governmental benefits. So we have that crew, but we also have people who walk in first time, 85 years old, and I say, do you have a will? And yeah, and they whip out their will, and I say, this is interesting. You're 85 years old, and your last will says your mother is in charge of your children. Okay, I say, you know, I think every 40 years somebody should change their estate plan easily. So when you're 120, 25, would you come back and we'll update it? So people just have to do that stuff. And I'm not Mick Jagger, but I enjoy it just as much as he does.
It's
and
funny.
And I'm energized.
I
think Jagger is dead when he's done.
Right.
He is full of life.
Well, what I was thinking is also you now have your son as a person in your practice, which I thought was beautiful. When you first started your law practice down here, you never knew you'd have a son doing this, did you?
When I first started my law practice down here, I didn't know I'd have a son.
Oh, that's a good one.
But the answer is no. I wanted him to find his own way. And in fact, when he wanted to go to law school, I didn't want it to be a gimme. I said, if you want to go to law school, that's expensive. You're going to have to take out student loans for the full amount because you have to want it, not think it's coming to you and it's not a hand me. And the other thing is, if you don't want to come to this law firm, that's fine. Find what you want to do. So it was, he wanted it. He wanted to be in law school and law school tuition, not counting room and board, everybody, and he had to pay for everything. Law school tuition was over $35,000 a year for 3 years. So he went deep in the hole because this is what he wanted, because I don't want people in my office and in my law firm because they want a job. I want them there because they want to help people, they want to do this, that they feel they have a calling, that they can enjoy what they do, they can go home with satisfaction every night. Because I want the people who work with me to be glad they're there, just like I want my clients to be glad they're there. I don't want people who are not happy. I mean, there are some people that you can't please no matter who you are. Fortunately, they're few and far between because we try to be nice, but there are some people who are just unhappy souls. And if you're going to be unhappy with somebody else.
Yeah,
we want to be there for you.
Do you find, and I don't know if you know who the oldest person is who's still a client of yours? Do you have anybody who's 100?
I'm sure I do. I have one person I can think of off the top who, at the age of 100, actually has no reliable. For some people, I act as a fiduciary. I'm a trustee. I'm a healthcare surrogate. There's things I have to do for them, and they're few. They're not that many because most people have reliable other people in their life. Your son Chandler was on the radio today.
Right.
So we know that, but many people don't have a Chandler. Or maybe some people have a Chandler who's married to an SOB and they can't They can't rely upon that kid
Right.
because of the marriage or life itself. They're too busy. There's surgeons who do 3 operations a day, and they can't be bothered with their parents. So I have at least one client who's 100 years old who has nobody left to be his trustee in his healthcare decisions, and I'm it. So that happens. The oldest client they ever had that I knew of was 106 when she died.
Really?
Yep.
That's amazing. And she wasn't in a nursing home?
No, she was. She
Oh.
ended up in a nursing home at the age of 103.
I see.
And she had, her son was like 82 when they hired me.
I love
I'm
that.
serious. And when I met him, and I'll tell you who he is tonight when I see you.
Okay.
Her son died 2 years after she died, because he had been her caregiver for 4 years. And when he came in, I thought he wanted to sign the estate plan because he was dying, and it was, no, my mother needs to go into a nursing home. And he was dying. He just didn't know it. So he did not outlive her by much because of the stress of caregiving. And that's the other warning for people. Your loved one's no less important than you, but no more important. And sometimes you really you got to take care of yourself, and you're probably not taking care of them to the extent that they need the care. Institutional care is less than desirable, but sometimes better than home. And that's on a sad state of affairs. That's unfortunate, but one has to deal with their reality. And you got to take care of yourself, because otherwise your kids are taking care of 2 of you.
Yeah,
so
right.
I always warn my clients about that.
Well, I wanted to ask you, though, in this whole field of elder care, we have a lot of lawyers now. We've always had lawyers, and some of them, of course, used to do everything divorce, and they just added doing wills and so forth. But now we have a lot of people that have the designation of elder law, whether they have board certified or whatever. So what do you advise when people go there? They are at their mercy in a way that some people probably don't, and most of them won't know what you know because you've been doing this for so long and you're very into education. There will be people who won't go to you, and you know that. So what are the things they should
understand.
ask people?
Well, if you're unsure, first of all, ask what the person does, how long they've been doing it, and what have they been doing when they say they practice elder law, because what are you looking for? And if they're certified, great. That is clearly a way. If they're not certified, why aren't you? Why aren't you certified? Wouldn't you want to? And I always say, would you go to a heart surgeon to do your bypass where the guy says, I do those? No, you want to know somebody that's certified. And the other thing is, don't always judge by the success rate of certain people, because that doesn't mean they did it the best way. So,
And you know, thank you. And I didn't realize we had such a good conversation. And thank you very much for contributing all you did today, Joe.
take care, be well.
Okay, bye.